What up? What up? Suplets is Sunday stream something in right here. I wonder what. How you doing? We're going to continue what we started earlier today, which is boss farming. So far, it's been really profitable for me. And it looks like it's probably getting even more profitable, so can't complain. Beats farming T7s, that's for sure. Woo! Kind of ripier though. Significantly ripier. Let me go full DPS and let's see if it makes any difference. Nah. Oh, I am full DPS. Oh, never mind then. Since when have I been full DPS? Like, I don't remember being full DPS. We currently have, I want to say 70-ish tickets for the T1 fights, and we're just going to keep spamming them. But yeah, the goal for today in the ideal universe, honestly, is to go for priceless weapons. If I can get our priceless weapons sorted, like main hand, off hand. There's something that deals damage to me and I'm not entirely sure what it is. It has to be the squares, but unless there's like giga lag to where it's actually doing damage before I realize, which I suspect might actually be the problem. But how's your Sunday going, Litz? I assume it's just some lag related shit that makes me take damage before it actually is visible. Don't really do anything on Sundays. So are you doing anything on this Sunday? Planning for the league starts or anything of the sorts? I know you were thinking about Reaper Luminary for reasons unknown to me. You know, that level of pain just sounds like, I mean, to be fair, I think Luminary might actually be one of the better classes for Reaper, if it helps, simply because you have an AG that cannot be eaten. Just asking. Yeah, I don't think there's any good, like, realistically, if you're going bleed, I don't think there's a good link for you, unless aside something like block, because there's a protective link you can use and, you know, give the Reaper some defenses. You can go crits, but that's not bleed. There really isn't anything like specifically bleed related. you know. But yeah, at least on Luminary, Claire would be good because you can actually have an explode Merc. Ooh, lucky streak. Going Necro, level as SRS, transition to Reapers. When out, transfigure gem. Going in plans for upgrades from mid to late. From early to mid. Chase, I don't know about launch again. I'll be playing Friday and Saturday, of course. Why is Sunday up in the air? Have possible plans, or you might decide to do something else. Honestly, not a bad plan. But fix whatever you need to on the sleep schedule. Jesus. Yeah, I get. It's the smart thing to do. My God, can you just kill him? Ooh. What are my plans for Leaguestart weekend? I'm going to be live for most of Thursday or Friday rather, and I'll be live till I don't know, probably some odd hour in the AMs, like 7 a.m. or some shit. Who knows? And then I'll have to fix my sleep schedule over the course of the weekend, in between making videos and all that. I will be taking, well, I did take Tuesday off, so I do have work Monday, so there's also that. We'll see how it all pans out. But that's PoE Tuesday, not this Tuesday. What up, Hollow? How you doing? Gotten your drops from the other accounts? GG. Oh, 100%. Especially when trying to level. Whew. Very, very necessary. I don't know what the fuck that teleportation was, but I think once I'm done with this set of invitations, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to craft. I'm going to try to craft, what's the thing? My priceless weapons, and then we see. I'll try priceless weapons into perfect road, magnificent, and noble gems. And then I guess we'll go from there. See if I can do the ignite swap today. Skipping T1s. I typically skip T1s because there's a lot of value in priceless. But like I'd be trying to do the what do you call it? I'd be trying to do ignite swap, and I need scepters for ignite swap. Plus, one thing I always say for skipping T1 is that typically when I do it on like day 2, day 3, whatever, like now, it is the cheapest ultimate embers will be for a minute. So I may not be making the amount of money that I would like to, you know, but I'm not making it so much in an insane amount of money, but because I have my priceless now, I don't have to buy it later, and I don't have to spend the FE getting the T1s up and running either. But there's definitely still value in getting T1s. Priceless is like 2k to craft. Here's the thing about priceless, right? It is like 2k to craft a proper priceless, but ultimate mods typically have so much power that even just having T3 has a lot of offensive value. You don't have to go for like T2s, T1s. I typically don't do that. Right now it is literally going to be very bare bones. T3s, T2s for the ultimates, and then we go for like, we can then go for T1 or T2 for basics, and then T2s for intermediates. You know, just bare bones. Let's get the mods in. in the door, and then eventually we invest a bit more to get like T2 ultimates and whatnot. And sometimes, like last season, sometimes you get lucky and you get T1 very early. Like you're trying to get your T3 and then you just see T1 and it's like boom, okay. What do you do with this now? It's like, and that's for ultimate sometimes. So the goal is not to get a perfect priceless, it's to get a priceless that has the mods you want. Because if I was going for a T1, yeah, it's definitely not efficient right now. It wouldn't be what I want to spend my money on. You know the funny thing on my current build, or the build I'm going for, because I set the enemy's res to 0, pen becomes less efficient. So I'm not actually going to go 2 sets of pen modifiers, I think. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think what I'll end up doing. Ooh. I didn't think you're gonna drop an ultimate Ember, but I'll take it. What I'll end up doing is I'll go for pen on one of the sides, and then for the other side, because it's going to be even less than 30% more damage, I'll probably go for additional damage. So odds are the scepter might have additional damage, whereas the rod has pen. It all depends on what ultimates there are. Whatever gives me the most amount of different additionals is what I'll go for. I hate when he does some unusual pattern with that last attack. Because I did consider going T1 as my next step. The only thing is, I kind of want to see what the ignite feels like, and then make the decision if to still pursue ignite or if we are pivoting early, you know. So long as the ignite is actually pretty good damage, even, and then the reap we get is also really strong, we're chilling. It all just depends on those 2 factors. The perfect controller D-pad. Ow. My goodness, can you just die? What is going on here? Man just refused to die this time around. The fuck? It's just like, yeah, this is what I typically would do, but this ain't typical, my guy. This run ain't typical. Like the fuck? I have a feeling it's something weird. Like, what the fuck was that? Dude has decided to switch up his patterns or something. Cause like, I don't get it. Also, you haven't dropped the thing in a bit. Why have you not dropped the thing? I need you to drop the thing. Like, it doesn't make sense that he just be doing some random attacks when I'm so used to what he already does. Like, are you just going to throw some random projectiles now? Like, this is the norm. Where did those random projectiles start showing up? Like, when did we start doing that, my G? Also, you need to start dropping pursuits again. It's like, I don't understand why you aren't. Or what this fascination with not dropping it, you know. You kind of need to drop, my guy. Oh god, what the fuck? You know what? What if it's the lag number that determines some of these inconsistencies? Because I don't know if I was necessarily getting fluctuating ping before. Specifically when it comes to the middle, the very first attack he does, it feels like there's even I get damage even earlier now than I used to, which I already knew. Like, I was a bit behind in seeing when the damage actually comes down, because I always take damage even though I leave on time. So I always just assumed, yeah, it is lag or something. Nice. That's what we need you to continue doing. All right. You need to keep up the good work. All right, we'll find a different pattern for you this time around. Made me a little bit nervous. I'm like, well, where on earth is the kill? How many tickets do I have left, I wonder? Jeez. $173 MS occasionally, I guess, would explain part of what I feel. Nice. The fact that I can't use Okay, so we're halfway done. Not bad. The fact that I can't use L1 to go all the way across is kind of annoying. Very new to Iris. I got level 1 Anubis now. Which mages is best to start playing? Iris 1 or Iris? Which of the Irises are we talking about here? 1 or 2? Or are you asking which of them as well? Iris 1. The easiest to scale, and what I would probably recommend as your first Magi, is Erosion. There's more information, or there's like more guides and all that for Erosion. There's more, so it's more popular, so you can get your questions more easily answered, and it's just an overall pretty strong mages. It can of course do all content, and it has really good screen coverage. Jesus. My internet cut out for a bit there. That is a lot of MTX light, my G. Jesus. Oh, he's starting some bullshit now. He's starting some BS. I really don't understand what happens there. Is it like my mages uses their like ultimate just before he's to take damage and then shit just becomes decent, or like what gives, my guy? So Edna is not the same person as Kandel. Huh. So I guess maybe Kandel wants Edna freed or something? I don't know what the Eternal storyline is. But then again, I don't think we have any storyline for any of the League mechanics. Actually, no, that's not true. Because when the League mechanics initially started, the NPC does try to tell you of a storyline, and to which most of us just skip. So like, yeah, I guess it's not entirely true that there's no story. It's just, I don't know that there's a story after the first league either, you know? You kind of see nothing about Cube and then you just show up in the end game and then it's there. $25 to go. Jesus, that was a bit delayed. Why did only one of them do? He is so weird in how sometimes he just isn't damageable when he should be, and vice versa. Because I've had him bug out, I guess, in a good way, where he got killed without doing certain phases that I know as being mandatory, at least. Let me see if I can make it a straight line next time. Should be able to if I start on one of the edges. Yeah, streaming already. Yep. I'm not on for too long today because I do have something to do in the evening. So I'm only live for like 3-ish hours, maybe. But yeah. There we go. When I get my health loss, why I get my health loss when I use Dazzling skill description doesn't have anything reducing health. You're using 2 interlocking soul hammers. Those hammers make it so you lose health whenever you use a minion skill. We typically counter this downside by using items like Burning Fire, the rings, and then Burning Fire rings, Desire of Survival, I think has some regen as well. I feel like Rock Lizard Skull might have regen, but actually no, it's just endurance charges. But that would be why you're losing health. As I said yesterday, I am playing the minion. As you said yesterday, you're playing the turret guy. But yes, how you like Imoto? What does the guide say? What is confusing about it, I guess, is the better question to ask. Jesus. Sometimes this guy just becomes a problem. Give me a second. I am back. Tells me to use skill A and give a setup for skill C and then doubles down on not explaining why. You're supposed to use spider tanks and its setup has what? Machine guards? Or what? What are the skills in question? It could be that one of those descriptions is from an outdated version of the build. Grim Phantoms and has this setup for spider tanks. Could this be a case of use Grim Phantoms early whilst Grim Phantoms auto summon, because they do auto summon, and then when you have some activation medium or something, you switch to spider tanks? Like I said, Ethan's okay, so thank you. My brain. Yeah. I think I remember having the exact same question a few seasons ago because I just knew it was something that I would experience early game, and I just didn't know why I was experiencing it. So I took the time to figure it out. So you are not the first person to wonder why you're mysteriously losing health. So well, I don't know what you watch from me. The creator. I'm just leveling up vibes right now. Wow. I mean, vibes is a decent place to level with. I'm just saying. But I guess I would probably recommend. I think both are fine for leveling, but I typically would go Grim Phantoms because they auto resummon. Actually, no. You can go any. It's just you have to make sure you resummon. That's the only thing. This is literally the only caveat. Resummon your spider tanks when you need to, and you're chilling. What level are you, and what level does the guide say you should do whatever? I guess it might also be a case of that. Why are you having a how are you having an easy time leveling Heliax? Because regardless of the experience or how much vibes it is, you should not be struggling to like kill bosses or anything like that. So if you are, then that's indicative of something being wrong. I'm level 41 and it tells me to use Grim Phantoms plus Machine Guard from level 7 plus. Leveling is easy. Yeah, okay. Just making sure it's easy. I think it told you to do that because early on, synthetic troops have a maximum of 2 on the gem or 3 or something like that. Something like that, and then you can have a max of 4. So you need 2 different gems in order to hit your actual synthetic troop cap, which is, and if you're not there, then you're just losing damage for free. So it's probably a case of eventually you're going to drop it, and maybe the guy didn't tell you. Well, I wasn't paying attention there. Cap of 3. So you're using mechanical modification or whatever it's called. Wait, so you don't have mechanical modification and you can't use your fort's minion yet? Ah. I feel like you should be able to. But I guess also it's just depending on the gem level. So maybe the gem level is still low enough that it isn't the case. I wasn't paying attention there. And that one was on me. I think I went on an insanely unlucky run. Holy. I'm just not realizing. I may have just lost money for a bit because like this guy just refused to drop it. I'm currently on autopilot, which is why I am dying as much as I am. It's like I shouldn't be on autopilot fighting this guy, but I am. You should to summon 4 spiders but can't for some reason. Try using 2 different spider tank gems. You might be able to do it across 2 different gems or something to that effect. It means someone at the same time not to level cap. To level cap? Yo, you need to actually drop your shit more often, okay? Are you talking about your core talents? Like, did you go rally or something? Like the one on your passive tree? Or a different one? Ling, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? Oh yeah, that's what rally does. Fun fact: my build is not synthetic troops, like, but I still have rally currently because of the additional minion damage. Pretty good node, I would say. Try an Iris 1 and Roshan Golem. Don't know how Iris works, but so far it's cool. Nice. Let me know if you have any questions. As for how Iris 1 works, that I can answer. That I can help explain if needed. You are welcome. This is my... Well, I played a lot of Iris 1 over the course of the past few years, but this is my 2nd season in a row on Iris 1. Did they change the design of Moto 1? Wasn't he a fight? Yeah, he was. I made the exact same comment where it's like, he's... For some reason, my guy is just not a dwarf anymore. Well, BS is currently happening. Okay, cool. Not enough BS to kill me. Yo, this run is insane. I'm meant to be making a profit, but like this fucker just decided I am going to go unlucky. So let's just look at how unlucky I went there. Let's just look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Jesus. Let's just say probably still made a bit of a profit, but like, yeah, that was an interesting amount of dry streaks. I was expecting 23. So like 4 less than I was expected. Ah, Jesus. We got relatively unlucky, I would say. Though we did drop this guy, so that's gonna help me. I feel like I'm gonna sell all of these. I'm really not doing much with it right now. So I figure, we'll sell it. These two I will keep because, well, I'm probably going to craft a T1 weapon soon. And matchless embers are very needed. So are precious embers, so very important to keep those. Besides, I've already sold the last batch. In the meantime, let's price check some stuff. Number one, I want to price check. What was it? I wanted to price check. Skill, mages. This is like half the price of this guy. Almost half the price. It's only 1% additional. I will take the 1% additional eventually, simply because, well, I feel like I need as much of an advantage as I can get, if I'm being honest. Please tell me you have a macro finally. Still no macro. And this is like the one that is very important, I think, to get that macro on. I think there's a big difference between a next to macro and a macro. People are watching finals here playing game. I mean, the finals results will be known once, like I'll know the result once it happens, right? Progress in the game, yeah, that shit's not happening unless I make it. So when I weigh pros and cons, I mean, it's kind of obvious what I have to do, don't you think? Kind of obvious. How you doing, Killer Kami? I am going to just straight up buy the Magnificent, I think. I can afford it, so no reason to not do it. 1 FE for every additional, I guess. That's what we pay now. Tired of adulting? Same. Same. So we have a Maxwell Flowing Flames, which is huge. I am not paying 200 for this guy. So we'll see how much is a T0. The next, there's a 1.8 for 40. I will get the 1.8 until 2.0 is available, I think. I think that's the smart call here. Until those guys sell, we're kind of just going to be waiting. I could also split this. Oh, sad. Huh. These guys are shooting up in price. Are y'all shooting up in price? Not too much, I guess. Not too much. That's an interesting name. What up, Mari? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. The fact that this is already up to 7 is kind of crazy. But I guess the price is going to keep going up until shit balances out a bit. Recycle. I'm pretty sure I'm going to just recycle this guy, but let's add it first, I guess. 20% less MS. What the fuck is gonna use you? Giga MS when consuming demolisher charge. So a demolisher build maybe? Level 10 quick return. I will take the time to check this, even though I don't think it's worth anything. All right, we have that guy. I guess Moto's still kind. If this is Moto's model, nah, he looks fucking human. He's as tall as Iris. The fuck? Yo, he might be taller than Iris. The dwarf is taller than Iris. The fuck? Okay. Shit. I think they forgot he's supposed to be a dwarf. All right, guys, I'm gonna need you to buy my shit. All right. Honestly. There's quite a few for 38. So we're going to reduce you to 37.5. L Dwarf Moto 1. And the worst part is like Moto 2 still exists. Right? I think they didn't change Moto 2, right? It's just one. Let me, now I'm kind of curious. Yeah, my dude is still fucking shorts. So like, this is supposed to be the same character that probably went down a different path, but like for some reason one of them just went through like knee lengthening surgery or something. Like this skin looks like it's still a dwarf. Then all of a sudden baseline you're just like, yeah, who needs to be a dwarf anyways? Me big. Like how is this a dwarf? This compared to this. This guy's head is like here. The other one is like here. Like we are on some serious whoever designed the new moto, yeesh. All right, while this is trying to sell, let's get some more, I think. Do a little plus. I mean, that shit went way beyond plastic surgery because way fucking beyond it. What would you say is the strat I should consider running for T8? For T8, I just did Sandlord. Sandlord drops a decent amount of FE in the actual maps, and then you have the currency from shipments. But that's also my personal bias because I went Sandlord. Cube is typically a decent choice when going it. How much DPS are you looking at? I guess is start, because like if you have a decent amount of, is Black Seal all right? Yeah, Black Seal is a good choice as well. You can reduce the cost and increase your profits by running one map in T8 and then running the remaining 5 in T7. The Void Sea Pirate is going to be in T8 and she's going to give you T8 loot, but you get to run 5 T7 maps, which are much cheaper than T8 maps. So you get to do that as well. That is a good strat. $800 mil. Yeah, Black Sail should be good. Or Black Sail would be a long boss fight, but the rewards are probably worth it. At 800 mil, yeah, I was just doing Sandlord at the time and it was kind of a bit on the rougher side. Boss rushing T7 is still pretty good money. I haven't checked what Snow Paper prices look like currently, but when I was T8 ready, I was still T7 boss rushing because it was, well, whenever I was doing Oasis, I would do it until I got enough coins and I got workers that, you know, were decent level and all that good stuff. And then I would go do boss rushing to, because I enjoy the speed, and at that DPS level, the maps just aren't quick. They really just aren't quick. Let's do this, shall we? I do not want to put level 6s in, so I should honestly run some Sandlord as well. I should run some Sandlord. No, boss rush in T7 while I wasn't, like, I had T8 damage, but I went back to T7 to boss rush. That's what I mean. Boss rushing in T8 is literally just dream, I guess. I have level 1 dream exchange shares. What should I exchange besides that? I only have level 1 cube. I guess what mechanics do you enjoy farming would be the first question I'd ask you. Do you have any you really enjoy, or are you just looking for like profits? In terms of best bang for your buck early on, level 1, you have Black Seal is really good. Level 1, because level 2 through 5 are just straight awful. So level 1 Black Seal is pretty good. Arcana is good. I don't know how good it is at level 1 though. I don't have Arcana myself. I've heard people talk about Mistville as well, also decently good. I can tell you level 1 Sandlord as well is also something you should consider getting. Level 1 Sandlord is in kind of a similar spot as Black Sail, in that level 1 is really good, level 2 is really good. Level 3, 4, and 5? No, 3 and 4 are kind of so-so. And then 5 is okay. A step up, and then 6 is good. So yeah, Sandlord is something else you could do. Level 2 Sandlord is insane. Yeah, it's the chance to get your shipment back is good. How about beacon farming? Beacon farming. Beacon farming is probably not bad, but let me think. I haven't done beacon farming this season, but you should be able to do it and heavily weighted to Glacial Abyss, right? How much is Glacial Abyss going for right now? About 3.9. How much is the cheapest typically going for? 2.5. Yeah, it should be good. For Pact Spirit for beacon farming, I would go Twilight Sparks. And then the remaining two are like, if you have chalk, use chalk. If you have Flame Elementium, use Flame Elementium. That's Surging Gold. If you have... What else would drop in a beacon farm? You just want beacons, you want to go God of War, you want to go God of War magic monsters, then you want to go generic loot for even more magic monsters. So what that would look like is you take every point basically here and then 2 points here. Then you go ahead and you will take God of War, top side, bottom side, right side if you have the points. Right side is not it. Right side is good. If you need more damage, you could do left side, but you might struggle with right side early on because you don't have the highest DPS for 8s right now. So I would go top side, bottom side, and like to here, and then I would go for, where is magic? This guy, this one. Vorax, start my chill TLI journey was Vorax is Vorax still good? I've heard Vorax is still really strong even at level 1, level 2, so you're probably in good hands with Vorax. I haven't tested it, so I can't speak for it personally, but I've heard good things from it. I know last season Milky, who is a TLI streamer, did I guess 0 to hero on a semi free to play account. It's free to play plus because he paid for battle pass, and his pet was the free pet from last season. He used it for Vorax, and that did some heavy lifting. So I think Vorax is a good one if you enjoy the gameplay. Like between last season and this season, I don't think Vorax was touched. So I have money now, so let's buy some more invitations, I guess. Holy, my current dry streak is insane. Five, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 20, 24, 26, 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 44, 48, 49, 50, 56, 58, 59, 60. The fuck are you farming right there? I am farming Eterna boss. I'm just bossing. I am on a hell of a dry streak right now, in that I have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 kills with no drops of notes. But surely the drops will come. Surely. How much do we have left after all that? We have 200 left. Cool. How many do we actually, invitations do we actually have? 60. Cool. All right, we have 60 kills. What's the drop chance and what drop are you chasing? I think the drop chance is like a one, from my experience, is like a 1 in 3-ish. Maybe slightly worse than 1 in 3. What I'm chasing is just the T2 tickets. So like I use a ticket to get in here. I'm trying to drop the tickets, the second level, and then I sell the second level. So like that is what I'm trying to drop. Good. I went like 1 in 11 without dropping it. And that's profitable. Yeah, it is. At least it has been so far. What's your DPS? Should be my title. I think I'm about 7.5 roughly. So I spend like I was spending like earlier today was like 5.5, but now it's up to 7. I'll spend like 5 I spent like 7 FE on the tickets, and then the upgrade is 37 FE. So long as I get it in like 4 kills, it's profits. So it's at 1 in 3 roughly. I'm making money. Yeah, roughly. Like earlier, it got up to about like 600 FE per hour, but like that was before my unlucky run where I just was deleting currency apparently. So it can happen where you just delete currency. So like now we're at 42. If we do another 3, and you know, there's that. I'm sure the people who are farming the higher levels are also making stupid amounts of bank, because once you get like a troublemaker or something, I haven't actually price checks, but troublemaker should be money, I'd imagine. So like being one of the first to be able to do like T2, T3 bosses, you will print money literally, because those uniques that they drop. Oof. Now I don't know what the drop rate for those are, so like I can't even speak for what that would look like. That's on me. I mispositioned my where I was standing. All right, I haven't eaten all day. I have food with me, so give me a quick second. Actually, we do have a video to react to. While I eat, and that is, what video did Arcane say? Destin. Then once we're done eating, I'll continue farming, and then we see how much I make from this set of 60. Where's Destin? World Cup should be done now, right? PoE interview. Yeah, I'm a PoE enjoyer. I make PoE content. This guy. PoE 1 and 2, by the way. More than TLI. Do I like it more than TLI? Yes. Yes, I currently do. Chris Wilson looks insane. Or the video looks insane. I should say the full statement. Which are the Chris Wilson videos? I don't think I think I saw Chris Wilson. I don't think I took note of the title. Speed breakpoints in AR. Oh. We could watch this. It is quicker. This is an interview I still want to react to. But that one, it depends on how long I'm eating. We'll watch a shorter video, and then if it goes on, then we can watch a longer one. But like, let's see.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson. Most modern action RPGs calculate actions.
Wait, seems like I have to choose Vorax. I'm checking my pet. I also have purple Vorax level 1, 2, which can upgrade to level 2 by this season. But with the free insignia. Okay. Vorax it is.
More accurately than Diablo 2 did. Every increase makes you a little faster. And yet, whenever a new action RPG is announced, some hardcore Diablo 2 fans are disappointed to hear that it doesn't contain speed breakpoints. Why would players prefer a system in which some stat increases do literally nothing? To answer that, we need to take a look at how Diablo 2 measures time, and at the strange optimization game created by rounding animations to a whole number of frames. When players talk about breakpoints in action RPGs, they're referring to the concept of increases to a number not having any effect until that number hits a specific value, which is called a breakpoint. This is seen in Diablo 2 with stats that affect the speed of action, such as attacking, casting, and hit recovery. The game's internal simulation runs at 25 frames a second, regardless of your graphical frame rate. Each of these animations takes a certain number of frames to play. For example, on an Amazon, the default cast speed is 19 frames long. If you have no faster cast rate bonuses on your character, then casting a spell takes 19 frames, which is 19/25ths of a second, or 760 milliseconds. Your faster cast rate stat makes this faster. There's a bit of complexity with diminishing returns being applied, but broadly speaking, the time it takes to cast the spell is reduced somewhat proportionally to the amount of faster cast rate you have. The really important thing to know, though, is that spells in Diablo 2 take a whole number of frames to cast. An Amazon spell starts at 19 frames long. Once you get to 7% faster cast rate, it decreases to 18 frames. At 14% faster cast rate, it decreases to 17 frames, and so on. If you manage to somehow stack 152% faster cast rate on your Amazon, you're casting spells at 11 frames each, or a couple of frames faster than the sorceress's base speed. But what happens if you don't quite reach the threshold to go down another frame of animation speed? Well, nothing happens. Any points of faster cast rate you gain between, say, 100 and 151% on Amazon have literally no effect, because they're not large enough to hit the 152% breakpoint. The consequence of this is that there are arbitrary sweet spots of attack speed, cast speed, and hit recovery that players want to reach because the jump in animation speed happens all at once.
I don't see why you would intentionally want to have a breakpoint, because like you said, breakpoints are there because of limitations, literal technical limitations. And like I've seen people in TLI talk about the attack speed breakpoints for erosion and for rock. Like at what stage you get an amount of it takes amount of frames to hit and whatnot. But I don't even think TLI has hard breakpoints unless you're scaling some insane amount of speed. I think from what I've seen and from everything I've also heard from hardcore testers, it doesn't actually have a linear it's this amount of breakpoints. The only breakpoint that I think matters when it comes to TLI is 5 attacks or 5 casts per second. And the reason for that is because the game, people say the cap for DPS is 15T. It is 15T DPS, but it's not 15T DPS. It is actually 3T, per 0.2 seconds. And I know this because last season I was playing Frost Magi and I was going for ultimates. Now, if you know anything about Magi's, then ultimates has really good multipliers, really good. So it hits big, but it has a cooldown on RS1. Why this is important is because what would happen is I got my cooldown to less than a second, but all three Magi will hit at the same time. Sometimes they'll be synced, and all I would see is 3T 0-0. The others, it just discards your damage. So basically, if you can hit 5 times a second and each hit deals 3T, that is when you can hit the DPS cap on capped content at least. If you can hit faster, then you can hit for less than 3T and still hit the cap, yada yada yada. So TLI heavily favors builds that can hit very fast, which is kind of why I'm going Ignite on my current build, because Fire Magi has very limited amount of CDR that it has access to for its ultimate. But with Reap, if we can get its cooldown low enough, then you can still do just as much damage very, very frequently with non-basic attacks, because those will also reap the same dots. At least that's the kind of the idea on paper. But like aside this breakpoints, nothing else matters. You can go higher and you get more attack speed. It wouldn't be quite like 1 second of like one attack extra in a second, but like you can get 0.2. It can get faster without it being a whole attack in a second. It isn't like it's inconsequential until you hit this and now you're faster. It actually is a lot more linear in TLI. But what I noticed is even with the linear progression of like attacks / casts per second, many people still ask the question on like how much attack speed do I need to hit a breakpoint or X breakpoint that is not really like 5. If it was 5 attacks, I'd understand, like I said. But what are the attack speed breakpoints for this thing? And then I think there was an image actually going around in the Irish chat for a while on the TLI Discord. And while the image was kind of okay, it also was kind of not too. It ignored a lot of things, but TLDR is it had different breakpoints as well. And it's like this image would come out and come up and come up, and in my head I'm just like, why even have these questions? Like aside the five attacks per second, which we've established is important, nothing else matters. Just get more attack speed if you want more attack speed. I imagine now for this season, people are going to be less concerned about rock breakpoints, because I mean, it's gonna be really hard to hit those attack speeds on rock anyways with the change to its attack speed scaling. But anyways, I've ranted a lot. I'm still eating, by the way. I just haven't eaten in like a minute or two, so I'm going to play the video.
Players created tables of speed breakpoints and optimized their characters around these thresholds.
Exactly what I was talking about.
They had a lot of fun doing so. It was an important part of the game for them. This behavior occurred because Diablo 2 measured animations in whole numbers of simulation frames. An animation would begin on one frame and finish a fixed number of frames later. But that's not the only way to implement action speed. Suppose a speed bonus reduces an animation to a length that falls partway between 2 simulation frames. A game can preserve that fractional time and carry it over to the next action. Over several actions, the character then performs at the intended average speed. Diablo 2 instead rounds each animation up to a whole number of frames and just discards that fractional time. Most modern action RPGs generally preserve it. This means that every speed bonus contributes to your effective speed, even when it is too small to remove an entire frame from a single animation.
Exactly.
But it also means there are no speed breakpoints. There are no particular values that suddenly grant a jump in power, because each incremental bonus already has an incremental effect. But despite this modern system being smoother and more predictable, I still see players asking if each new action RPG announced has speed breakpoints, like Diablo 2 did. Maybe there's something to them that actually makes them more fun. I want to examine the advantages of each of the two approaches to try to work out what type of game each might be appropriate for. So the advantages of the modern approach are pretty straightforward. Every speed bonus does exactly what it says. Even small ones have a small effect. You feel continuous improvement to your character as numbers get larger. And there isn't a feeling of, well, I shouldn't get that mod because it will actually do nothing for me unless I can find even more of that property somewhere. The breakpoint approach, on the other hand, does not have these advantages. Instead, players need to hit arbitrary thresholds for their speed bonuses to do anything. This adds a certain texture to the game, where it's not just a mindless more is better kind of system, and there's actual planning involved for high-level play. Some players like this because it allows greater opportunity for build optimization and for them to build more effective characters than their peers.
The problem with that is, A, that knowledge ends up being a very big barrier to entry for newer players, either from the perspective of, oh, you need to have this information beforehand to even think about doing this, otherwise you might just be trolling. And not only that, the presence of numbers like that, let's say attack speed was the only source of this number, right? We don't have any other breakpoint, it's just attack speed. Just attack speed, you get to that threshold, you're good, but everything else works linearly. All of a sudden, the moment you as a new player hear that this exists for attack speed, you become paranoid for every other statistic, even if the others are fine. But then you don't know, right? So now all of a sudden you've heard, oh, this one has a breakpoint. Oh, what about insert this thing here? What about action speed? What about movement speed? What about this? What about that? And you might ask people questions and like they don't know the answer to it because they haven't heard anyone say anything about any breakpoints. But like, so it's one of those things that I don't think I'm as against as I sound, but like I think it's one of those, almost feels like it's one of those things where if the player base has to test frame by frame to understand, to like know the breakpoints and know when they're wasting their time, that is a feels bad situation and should not intentionally exist. At least if it exists as a consequence, then it is what it is. But if you're intentionally putting it there because, then why?
And win the item game, essentially. But this breakpoint system is complex and it's very hard to explain to people, especially new players. Diablo 2 is actually even more complex than I have described so far. There can also be secondary thresholds where the animation remains the same total length, but the attack or spell connects one frame earlier. Is this breakpoint system okay for new players? Well, they're certainly not going to understand it at first, and it might put them off playing if they hear about this type of complexity. I'm not sure that's actually a big problem though. I played thousands of hours of Diablo 2 before I found out about speed breakpoints, and I only learned about the sub breakpoints I was just discussing while writing this very video. The game was still enjoyable without knowing any of this information. Also, under the breakpoint system, the speed stats still generally do what they say in an overall sense. More cast speed does eventually end up resulting in faster casts, and the earlier breakpoints are quite close together. So you only start running into big gaps once you get into building heavily optimized endgame characters. I'm sympathetic towards players who want breakpoints, as I do like it when a game rewards players for learning about how game systems work in a lot of detail, and this particular one is generally out of the way enough for new players that they need not worry about it until they've mastered a lot of other systems first. But I can't help feeling that speed breakpoints in Diablo 2 are arbitrary. They're a consequence of an implementation detail, whether rounding occurs or not. A fascinating question is whether the developers of Diablo 2 actually intended it to work like this, or whether it was just an accidental emergent behavior that resulted from the way that speeds were calculated and frame times were rounded. It could be entirely possible
like it's
that
probably
the designers of the game just didn't know that such rounding was occurring until well after it was released. So to answer this question, I asked David Brevik, one of the creators of Diablo 2. He confirmed that speed breakpoints were completely intentional and that he knew such rounding was occurring and did the math on it while developing the game. So there we go, straight from one of the game's creators. So while the modern approach to speed calculation means that
I did not think that,
as they say, and speed calculation math becomes very simple and understandable, there may still be a place for intentional rounding that creates breakpoints. I don't believe that players specifically love inaccurate timing, but I do think that many players love systems where reaching a target requires planning and produces a noticeable payoff. Designers of action RPGs should consider that.
The thing is, there are ways to introduce systems like those that require knowledge without hiding it behind a system where you literally have to record your character and study frame by frame to understand that, oh, I added this mod but nothing happened. You know, that's a feels bad situation. Because then to math out how much speed you need, let's say, you have to know what the base speed was and how many frames you gained from getting this amount, and then trying to use that to predict where. And it might be things in the calculations you don't know. And it's like all of this is stuff that as players, why would you want to do? You know, like why? It should be a case of, oh, at some point attack speed isn't worth it for me to invest into anymore. But if I choose to go for more attack speed, I shouldn't feel like I'm now trolling, you know?
Micro-optimization plateaus like Diablo 2 speed breakpoints are enjoyed by advanced players, and that you have the opportunity to design them into your games intentionally. In the meantime, you should keep your eyes open for ones that naturally arise through rounding and internal calculations, and know that if you let any slip through, you should absolutely expect players to do the math, create crazy tables, and heavily optimize their characters around them. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next time.
That was a really good short video, and I'm basically done eating. So we're not going to start this yet, but I do need about like a minute or two. So give me a second. I'll be right back.
We have many friends. 1, 2. It's enough. You know, the void is not truly empty. You can meet your friends there on occasion, but they shatter on contact. We do not understand why a rapidly fading life should dream every day. I've had all those dreams. this sky.
All right, I am back. Let's continue farming, and then we'll be, while we're doing that, actually, let me keep an eye out on, you are kind of dropping a bit. Let's try not to drop too much, shall we? Anyways, so I reset my loot tracker for this set in particular. So everything at the top is going to be this set of 60 kills I'm going to do, roughly. Hmm. Oh, see, I love when he does that, but he rarely does that, where he just becomes damageable for free. It's just like, yeah, I'm supposed to be invulnerable right now, but I'm gonna let myself take some damage. Oh geez, dude, what is with this? Was that, wait, am I not lagging? And I was lagging before. Like, I'm doing it at the same time, and instead of it being delayed like I'm used to, it's not delayed. This is turning into a decently unlucky streak. Jesus Christ, man. Why are you not? Thank you. Kill him, please. Thank you. I think what happens in those moments where he actually stays alive for a bit, and I could be wrong about this, is it's either because I use Dazzling Bloom, so they somehow miss parts of their ultimates, or it's because they just used it while the second he was invulnerable, the second before he became vulnerable, so it's been wasted, if you will. One or the other. I'll try to do Dazzling Bloom with, I guess, more heads up, less heads up, more heads up after this, and then we'll see if it's just a case of when it the alignment. Well, this still happens, so it didn't really change anything. Let me keep an eye on how many. Okay. Okay. I expect to have like 20 of the next one. If I'm going to be on drop rates. Now, if I'm not going to be on drop rates and I'm going to be higher, then I will very gladly welcome that. If I'm lower, no. We don't want lower. Last time I did 70, I got 19 instead of 23, so I would say that's still not quite 1 in 4, because 1 in 4 from 70 would have given me how many? $17. Yeah, so it's a bit more. It's still a bit more than 1 in 4, but it was less than 1 in 3 during the 70 sets. During the 30 set, it was a bit more than 1 in 3, but this is all within the range of RNG deviation, or acceptable RNG deviation, I'd say. Though I will say with the dry streaks I've been getting, my guy, you might want to give me an invitation streak. The dry streaks are actually insane. The fuck? Surely you drop the thing now, right? Finally. Holy. The dry shakes have been insane. I don't know what's going on there. RNG is trying to RNG, but like, god damn, can you not? You could always RNG in the other direction too, though. Make, you know, I deserve to be lucky too. Dude. At some point, you should be giving me like 2 in a row, don't you think? Like at some point, RNG is meant to flip the other way around. Is there a reason you're not dead yet? It clearly wasn't because you wanted to drop your item. Clearly wasn't that. I think for every one we've dropped this time, we've gotten like giga unlucky. I'm not sure what killed me there because I don't think I was on any weird part of the ground or anything like that there. Dude, it still didn't drop. Okay. Okay. Was it like a crit? And now we're down to just breaking even what we've dropped. How much? So I'll check actually after this kill what my dry streaks have looked like so far. Final fuckingly. Let's see. Just so far, we've gone. See, this is what we expect. This is still fine. Then we proceed to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing. And then we do another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, what is this RNG, my guy? Mine is tired of being killed. How many tickets do I even have left? 30. So I'm about halfway done. And RNG has been RNGing. Also, what is this? Flying bird. It's an item? Has to be one I haven't dropped before or something. Thank you. That wasn't too many kills in between, I think. That one's actually fine. Have you faced Kitava? If you face Kitava, then yeah, don't campaign. His little brother. So long, so long as it's a half monster up above a cliff, then yeah. My RNG is currently stunning me. I swear. My RNG is the stuff of mysteries. Oh, you don't want to die. How's it going? So far, my RNG is RNGing. Minions have competition now. Thank you for the follow, Mari. Appreciate it. Let me see. Any recommendations for the guaranteed packed spirits? I think you should hold the chest and try it and just casually try the different mechanics and see if you like the gameplay. Because there's no point in picking one if like I recommend something and you don't like it. So I will punch you in like some directions. In this spirits chest, try Black Sail as a mechanic when you after you progress a bit into the end game. Try Black Sail, try Cube, see if you like them. Those are some okay. Like the dream is Black Sail is really good at level 1. Cube is honestly pretty decent at level 1 as well. Isn't insane money, but it's good money, steady money. And then I would just say no to I would say no to. Okay, so I realize I should probably show this. So this is good. This is a good choice. This is Black Sail. Try it out, see if you like the gameplay. Cube is also good. Try it out, see if you like the gameplay. Don't recommend. Very niche gameplay, but if you like it, you'll love this pet. Try Mistveil as well. I think Mistveil is one of those pets that the people who love Mistveil do nothing but Mistveil, and it's very unique to TLI, so it's worth exploring. Alice, no, unless just no. She's good in like very certain strategies, and she isn't that good until like 6 in those strategies. Well, not 6, but until like 3, 4, 5 she starts to pick up. And then this is okay if you like it. It's worth testing to see if you like the gameplay of this one too. I've heard this one is recommended at higher levels. I don't know what she's like at level 1. She's really profitable when you have like a high level of her. I don't know level 1. I can't really speak of this. And this is really good level 1/level 2. 3, 4, they're not really great levels. 5 is good. 6 is really good. So this is also a good level 1 to have. If you like settlers in PoE, this is the one to go for. That's the closest to that. Welcome back. I don't know. I've been streaming.
I know. Okay.
What's the actual difference between 1 and 6 sail? Well, increased drop quantity, if I remember correctly. It's actually very, very bad. Like, disgustingly bad. Like, I can actually show. What's it called? Black Sail. I don't have Black Sail actually. Black Sail. Level 1 gives you the chance to double. Then it's just additional drop quants, and then extra chance to double. So like level 2 through 5, absolute just doo-doo ass, don't touch, nah. And then 6 is good. So yeah, level 1 is really good, but then everything beyond that is not really worth it. Would you have a code for farming it in T8? I don't have a code. I didn't run Black Sail this season, but it's relatively straightforward. I would say for Black Sail, just go full chance. Once you have the full chance, let me see how much the invitations are worth. If they are worth going for.
Have you reacted to the new PoE shit or no?
I didn't even know there was new PoE shit. I'll check it out. Void Sea invitation, 12 FE. That's worth it. That's worth it, I think. So with that in mind, you'll probably go here, right? No, this is replication. You choose this one. This is Whisper. This is the boss Whisper one. Okay, so I would fill this out, and that's all you need in Black Sail. Once you have those two, if you really want to, and you're really looking for Black Sail, you can come here and choose which of the Whispers would be good. Hero Memories, this one, Whisper of Armament, the left one. You don't really care about the others. Yeah, this one. So this if you feel like it, and then beyond that you mix it with anything you want. So you can mix it with like Sandlord chance, you can mix it with God of War chance. I think God of War chance would probably be what I would do, so I can blitz through the map and finish ASAP. And then beyond that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, just run compassless, or you can do purple, but I don't think purple would be worth it yet. Let me see the price of purple compass. I feel like purple compass would be expensive and it's not worth it. Yeah, 5 FE. No, go compassless. Okay, so you said there's PoE stuff. Let's see, what is the PoE stuff?
Hi, I'm Octavian, game designer on Path of Excellence.
Holy, Octavian is the one doing it? What is happening here? Why are you not going full screen? Hey, browser, you're kind of forgetting something. The fuck was that?
Today, we have a few new uniques that can be found.
Oh, that's a cool MTX.
The Curse of the Allflame update.
Holy crabs!
Lichborn Skulls has created Subsume the Source, a unique helmet that consumes the abyssal jewels that you socket into it.
Wait, what?
Each jewel that is socketed will be destroyed, with one modifier chosen at random to be retained.
Oh?
These retained modifiers are magnified, with their effect being empowered by the afflicted abyssal remains. With luck, you can reach some truly impressive outcomes once you've done your best to sate this appetite. The crustacean's call.
So you'd go for 3 modded rares? What if you want? I wonder if this is one of those situations where you reverse fracture, i.e. you fracture a modifier you don't want to keep. Therefore, because it might not be able to take rare modifiers on the jewels. Oh, fractured modifiers rather. It might not be able to take fractured modifiers. So if that is the case, then you fracture one to remove it from the pool, and then it's a 1 in 3 to get the one you want. This means we have access to more added minion damage than we had before. Because, like, in theory, let's just theorize, right? 4 different added X damage type for minions times 176%. That is insane. That is a level of flat damage that even levels of minion would not compete with. If you were to be able to RNG your way to it. Because it's a very low chance that you get that same mod 3-4 times in a row if it's a 1 in 4. My guess is fractured mods would not count for this if I'm being very honest, which would raise the value of fractured abyssal jewels that are not, you know, the fracture you want.
once you've done your best to sate this thing's appetite. The
But
crustacean
that's a cool
will
helm.
carcinize your spells, calling forth shamanistic crabs to cast them for you as they scuttle along.
Wait, what? Crab totems. Holy what? I'm gonna play with this at some point this league. Let me just put it out there now. This is going to happen.
Calling forth shamanistic crabs to cast them for you as they scuttle along. These crabs
Holy
are fully
mobile
considered to be
totems.
but have the distinct advantage of many, many legs. Check out these and all our other.
Wait, but if this is crab totem, like you use it in this, you pair this with a staff. So you get a 7-link staff basically for free. You don't need to worry about multiple totem support, I think, because does that give you maximum? I forget. Unless it's an 80 divine item. Fair. But it's unlikely to be an 80 divine item because I don't know. We'll see the stats on crab totem. If it has an insane less damage multiplier, then you never know. You never know with GG. But that is so cool. I love the concept of this. How do I decide what pro build to follow? High follower count is a decent metric. Really, I don't follow many pro builds myself, so I don't actually vet through it. But I would go through firstly making sure the skill is your skill. So click that, make sure the main skill is the one you want to play with. Like in my case, let's just say, where's Spirit Mages? Because I know that we should have one, unless we don't. Spirit Mages has one in the regular gem area. Did they remove it? And then I do this and see who is making content on it, I guess. And then from there, find one that has like a high DPS number and see like what it's doing. But yeah, crab totems was not on my bingo sheet. I'll tell you that much. What do you think about Arcane? Oh, he's
Crab totems looks really sick.
a Chinese and his streamers options. Iris one is viable. She's so viable that I can actually explore off meta Magi like fire. But she is viable. Like I beat SS21 on her last season with Frost Mages, which is also a very off meta choice. She isn't as fast as Iris 2, and honestly Iris 2 just clears better. But last season's changes made her into an actual character. Before the buff she got last season, she was kind of so-so. You got shit talked by Shima for doing Iris 1, then swap to Iris 2. It's pretty hard to get. It's pretty hard to get a new business passive. It's not that hard to get a new business passive. You just get intelligence, scaling, and make sure there's nothing else. Like, this is the only place where you might get the random stat, and it's typically intelligence. So if you scale intelligence, you're fine. Scale intelligence and avoid any random source of strength or dex, and you're chilling typically. Like mine is balanced. I have all stats here. I have all stats here. I have access to strength that I'm not taking here because of obvious reasons. Stuff like that. So I think it's tricky when you're trying to use something like what's the name of that item again? Interlocking Souls, because Interlocking Souls has strength and int. So it becomes very difficult to use that and pair, because then you have to try to pair it strength and int, and that's the whole kind of worms and all that. Possible but annoying. You're better off just doing eventually just dropping one of them. What Magi would be meta for Iris 1? Currently, that would be Erosion, I think. Erosion will be the most meta choice, and then there's an argument to be made for Lightning, because Lightning is in meta, but I don't think it's gotten any changes since it was meta that would make it not meta. You know, so I think it's just a case of it's probably still good, but people played it a lot, so it's less built now. Like, you didn't see any nerfs from back then or anything like that. We are officially making a loss. What the fuck is this RNG?
How much were you making before?
The first like 450 sets, 60 sets, we made like 600, 700 FE. Like, we made a fair amount. Like, we were averaging one in, like, for the first set, was averaging 1 in 3, a bit more than 1 in 3. Second set, I was making a bit less than 1 in 3. This set, I don't want to say, I don't want to know what I'm getting here, because like this is giga, like maybe 1 in 6, 1 in 5. I think is like probably closer to what I'm averaging now. 1 in 5, 1 in 6, which is insane for RNG to do to me, because like I'm getting runs of like 7, 8 without it dropping, which is wild. Oh, surely this isn't part of the reason, right? I'll just switch back to this guy just in case. I don't think he affects it, but like, you know, just in case. But you never know what affects what in this game. That was a hype teaser. GG. Mobile totems. We don't have mobile totems in PoE, right? Like, we've never had them. No. Unless like you want to count minions.
No. What weapon was that, by the way?
It was a staff.
Okay.
And
so
staffs, yeah, and staffs saw some really nice buffs, I want to say. I think it should be easier to like block cap and stuff on staff now, or something like that, from what I remember seeing in the patch notes. Watch some videos of Mercs and later maybe there's something. You want to Leaguestart at Luminary? I was thinking about Leaguestart at Luminary. It will probably be my second build. Very likely my second build. Merc plus AG tech. You're gonna be an aura bot anyways, so very, very possible. Only thing is, I guess, let me think. It's very possible if you were to use Hallowed Monarch, because the light radius increases, and then try to life stack yourself so your flame link is kind of better. You do life stacking on your character, you go flame link is juiced, Hallowed Monarch gives you light radius gives you link effects, link effect gives you even more flats. How you would scale other things though? Enmity on your Merc is a no-brainer, but then to scale damage with fire res on your AG, you just really can't do that, as far as I know, at least. Unless you're kind of scaling his life. Oh jeez, what the fuck? That wouldn't exactly work. if you're life stacking, you can give your AG life stack stuff and your Merc fire red stacking stuff. That could actually work, now that I think about it. Because your AG is going to use your life in calculating his shit, whereas your Merc is going to really enjoy the flat you're giving him from the links and go from there. Though you'd have to make do in that situation with... Dude, what is going on with this drop rate though? We've gone... When was the last time I dropped this shit? Holy... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We are currently 14 kills, not a single one. If that isn't RNG being RNG, I don't know what is. 14. Because you're looking for someone else to do them. My problem with Luminary as a whole for preseason theory crafting is that it's not really supported by POB. That's like a big problem I have. So like I kind of just have to wing it and just like, yeah, I guess he has this much increase, he has this much flats, he has this much this. Is that enough? I guess we'll see. That's 15 new drops. Like to balance that, you're going to need to give me 5 in a row, literally. Finally, Jesus. That's just the one. I'm gonna need you to give me like 5 in a row, right? Look at Moto 2. Dude is still short. Dude, I looked at somebody in, I guess, for lack of a better term, my hideout was in Moto 1. Dude looked like he was taller than Iris. Genuinely looked like he was taller than Iris, and it's like, oh, so this is supposed to be the dwarf? That's, you know, is also Moto 2? Okay. Mama for some insane leg lengthening short surgery. Iris one that's always had like insanely long legs. He's the one that's taller than her? Okay. Okay. How we went from like big profiting to RNG just absolutely gimping us is insane. Surely 2K followers is strong. Good luck. The one thing I will say about that is you can follow him on the creator section, the creator page, but you also have to kind of figure out what each pro build says in terms of name, like how much GPS this is, an example. I know some people in TLI Discord know like what characters mean what, like what is a trillion, what is a billion, that kind of thing. I am not one of those people. I don't know. Holy, we dropped another one. We've broken even. That surely that's how it works. Where the prophet again? Thank you. It is so dumb with what our RG was looking like. We're not safe yet. All right. We need more. I'm gonna need you to flip the other way and just keep dropping. All right. I don't even know what killed me there. Woo. Nice. This is more my speed. All right. You had me worried for a second, but this is the direction we should be going. I wonder how many kills I have left. I plan on just randomly going until it says I don't have any left. Okay, nice. We're up to 75. Tried messaging you on Discord. New player following the Iris 1 build and enjoying it. Did I miss loot filters for it somewhere? I don't have my own loot filters, but I can recommend loot filters depending on what stage of the game you are. If you are T7, then I just recommend using someone like Min-Max ARPG or Don the Crown's filter. But if you're earlier than that, then there's a filter by someone called Sirusi. That's pretty good for leveling on Iris. It highlights like strength gear, int gear, and what's it called? And like memory or progress. It's good for going through the time marks. Just finished campaign. All right. So this is the loot filter you should be looking for, or you can use, I should say. This one. It has Iris 2 on it. Seriously. This is good for Iris 1 and 2. It has 2 handles. So yeah, this is what I used. And then right now I'm just using Min-Max ARPG for like post level T7 and stuff. You are welcome. And if you messaged me recently, I probably just haven't seen it because I've been live. Oh look, we made a slate. Let's try making a different slate shapes for the rest of our kills, shall we? What else is there? There's the L shape. We haven't done L shape. L shape, then there's the cross one. We've done the cross at some point today. So we're going to do L shape next, so long as we have tickets. Do we actually have tickets? Yeah, we do. You tried selling that and Erica 1 true campaign. Honestly, like Erica 1 much better in comparison. I've heard the melee-esque playstyle for the new traits is very off-putting because you literally have to be on top of the enemy to do damage. If we did the L, what of that shape is it? Is a square? We've done many squares. We do too many squares even. So the next one is the almost T looking shape. Good, that one done. I don't think there's any other slate shape. There are actually very few slate shapes. Rectangle. I've done a lot of rectangles, but we can't do that again. That was basically the default. Oh wait, we're done. That was the default I was doing for most of the runs. We made 85 FE profits out of 32 minutes of our time. That was not worth. But I think that was also just RNG being RNG, because like, look at this. This is where we started. It started off nice. It was chill. It was still okay. And then we started getting 7s and 8s. And then we started, it looked positive again. And then we got slapped with a 15, I think. Like literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15, no drops. We did get 3 in a row, so that was kind of nice. And then we got 2 in a row here, so it kind of started to balance out towards the end, which is why we ended up in the positive. But yeah, had me worried for a second. We got 60. I was expecting 20 when I went in, so this is like 7 less than I was expecting, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're going to put it at 35. We'll split it in. We'll put 34.8 maybe, and then we'll go from that. That gives us 452. We have 216, so we're going to end up in the 600 ranges, and then we can try again. Actually, before we try again, what are the prices looking like? Overall, we made it actually a decent amount of money from the strat. Just bossing. These are at 8 FE. I would not continue buying those. Past that, I'll just watch them. This one is, I don't know that this would be worth it, simply because it's so pricey. Like I wouldn't bother doing it, and this is just minus money, so definitely don't recommend Desire Cores. You lose money. Invitations, I don't think these are necessarily great. So like that's like the only boss that's semi worth it. The others are a big no, and of course you can always get unlucky like I did just now and barely make a profit. If that went well, we would have gotten our priceless weapon and crafted it up. With how it went, we can't do that just yet. What am I going to upgrade? Because I'm about to end stream, because I do have something to do IRL. But let me think. How much is a priceless weapon? Priceless scepter with just priceless, really. Oh, I was about to buy this before I realized, yeah, it has dexterity. Oh, this is 40? Is 40 the going price? I don't care about the increased fizz. I don't want the increased fizz. But what I do care about is that it doesn't have dexterity. These also just straight up dropped in price by a lot. And I'm down to craft something for 40 FE. I can see myself actually using this. The alternative is going for something like ints. None of the ripping things would be cheap. None of the pen stuff would be cheap. We can't go for any base affix that actually matters. So what we're going to rely on is we're just going to go for something that exists. Sure. We'll just buy the 40. And then let's look at the rod. Rods are typically cheap. Yeah, we have like 10 already. So base affix wise, we are looking for... We can't get any of these because like this would be ideal, but that's why it's pricey. So additional minion damage. No, okay. Pen Elires? No. Ints maybe? No. No. We can get ints. But I would rather have some source of additional damage than ints. But I guess if it's between intelligence and something else. But here's also the argument to be made where I eventually want to start using strength instead of ints. So I guess a part of me is just thinking, is that even worth it? The swap to strength? Because the real reason we go for strength is because there's a minion modifier that scales off of strength that we could take advantage of. But the problem with that is our amulet gives us 8 ints, so we have to get 8 dex somewhere else to match, and the easiest place is slates. I don't want to have to deal with that limitation, and I have constantly evaluated if it's even worth it to do that, because it's increased minion fire damage per is it per strength or per 12 strength? Per 12 strength, I think. So like, even if I get 40% increased minion fire damage, is that worth it? And I get 40% at like 500 strength. It's like, it's increased. Is that worth the headache I'm going through everywhere else? I feel like the answer is no. I feel like the answer is no. So this is 40, 35, 30. So 30 it is. Wait. Okay, it's fine. It's just -1 ints. All right, we have the 2 weapons that are going to make up our what's it called? They will make up our what's it called? My brain isn't working. Main hand, off hand. The base types at least. Then we have to fix the energy of at least the scepter. Scepter is terrible. Okay, cool. What do you have? 113. Do you have 113? 107, 111. I've been missing out on like 3. I'm like 2 short actually. And the problem with being too short is my energy is perfect right now. So I need to find something that I am using or can more easily go for an upgrade. And I think it's you. Am I going to take the chance? Yes. The price to beat is 53. There. That allows us to have the energy to drop a few from these two. But yeah, I don't think I have the time to do the full swap now. So I'm going to keep farming off stream. Well, not right now, I need to do something IRL, but I'm going to farm off stream. I'll be streaming tomorrow, my typical stream time. And I'll either already have this equipped or I will have it crafted. That is the current game plan, at least. And then once we have it crafted with at least like T3, T2 reaping stuff, then we'll make a swap to... Wait a second. I just realized I didn't even buy the gem. I bought Flowing Flames, but I did not buy the other transfigured gem, the noble. But yeah, we'll do all of that if there's even a good one. Real quick, anything? There's a 0.18 that's well priced. The 1.9 is not, so this is where we're going to start off, I guess. But yeah, all this to say, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it. Till then, have a good night.